The premise of this video is that React content is a system of exploitation that siphons an incalculable amount of money and exposure away from the hard-working into the pockets of the incredibly lazy.
Boy, you absolutely nailed it there, buddy. Good job. Hello everyone, welcome back to Shockmail's News, where we take the news that was too long and you didn't read and give it to you straight. Darkvipers had a 3 AM crash out on Twitter over a Twitter thread that was almost 1 week old and hadn't gained any steam. That was until it was found by a drama slop tuber, Nicholas Diorio, and shared 10 minutes later by Darkvipers' longtime nemesis, Willie Mac Show. The thread details how Darkviper took this person's Grand Theft Auto 5 clip and then re-uploaded it to his channel. At first, not giving any credit, but then giving credit, but then years later, Darkviper removing the credit to make room for plugging his merch. The thread was by someone who goes by the name Darkstunter. A YouTuber with 2 million subs stole our work, uploaded it, and made over 1,500 euros from it. When I politely confronted him, he threw a tantrum, blocked me, banned me from his Discord, and edited his angry response, hoping I wouldn't see it. Here's what happened. Back in 2019, my friend, Massaboy, and I got interested in speedrunning and started to look for strategies. I realized that during the mission Pallado's Score setup, you could glide across Alamo Sea using a motorcycle, saving about 10 seconds. I spent a while perfecting the strategy. After days in perfecting the strategy, Massaboy got the perfect clip, and we together decided that this would be the clip we share this new risky strategy with. We showed it to speedrunners, and Friendly Baron asked for permission to use it in his video. We gave him that. Here's the link to the original video.
After my last Risky Strat video, some dudes named Dark and Massaboy, who often make stunted videos like this, were made aware of the speedrun, and as you've heard in a few recent videos, they've had a good number of ideas already.
As you can see, he not only gives credit up here in the actual video itself, but down in the description as well, he links to their channel, and I'll also put those in the description of this video as well. That video there, they didn't have to complain to Friendly Baron to put the credit in later on. The Friendly Baron did it from the outright. A couple of years later, Darkviper got a hold of that video and used that same clip without our permission. He made a YouTube short with our gameplay, added commentary, and uploaded it without asking us. He originally added credit and comments, but later, he replaced it with this. Announcement! I have a new merch store! Featuring low prices, higher quality, new products, and new designs. I wasn't happy that the credit was removed, so after collecting enough courage, I messaged him about it. I hoped it was just a simple mistake when he and his team edited the comment. I would have been happy with a, oh sorry, I'll add the credit back. But instead, I got this answer. And watch out guys, it's also quite long. Darkviper is very incapable of writing anything short and succinct. So Darkstunter shares this, where he basically explains like, hey, you took away the credit. Maybe that was a mistake. Can you put that back? To which Darkviper goes, I gotta say, this is a strange message. It was 2 years later, man. I answer quite literally hundreds of DMs a week. So to summarize, you put unlisted footage that you never intended to use for any purpose in a Discord somewhere to show a strategy. It wasn't public. You were making no money off it. Hell, you were never going to make money off it. Oh, so I guess, Darkviper may as well. I creatively edited it years afterwards at great expense of time and presenting it in a way to cause it to succeed. Taking a 9-minute screen recording and making it into a 20-second clip. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, it takes great effort to cut something down to 20 seconds. It takes a great deal of time. This you were never obviously going to do, and hell, no one was ever going to do it. Shame, it was a good edit and hook. I guess I will find that clip of Trevor diving out of a boat onto a whale that other dude made. I originally wrote you a very long message. I have removed it and privated the clip. Never contact me again for any reason. Please stop watching my content. His creative editing was speeding up the clip and slapping his own commentary over it. Funnily enough, he's been very vocal for years about being against reaction content.
It's lazy.
Yet this, it's literally reaction content. The clip was also shared privately. We have no idea how he got it. After his tantrum, he must have realized how bad his message would make him look, so he deleted and edited it to this. I have privated the short. I am removing the monthly yap and cancelling the series. Never contact me again for any reason. So this is that original long message that he wrote. edited down to just one sentence. See, Dark Viper, you can do it. You can shorten messages. This is what you probably should have sent the first time. Then he blocked me and banned me from his Discord server, so I would have no way of contacting him. I still tried to email him, and I wished we could move past this. He removed the short from YouTube, but left it up on TikTok and still uncredited. After removing the stolen short, he uploaded a new version using footage from one of his viewers. Even though this version uses someone else's gameplay, it's still the exact strategy I created. Without my work, this video wouldn't exist. He's made around 264 euros from this new version. I want to make clear this isn't about the money, it's about what's right and wrong. I spent time creating something original, a YouTuber took it, profited from it, dismissed me, and hoped no one would notice. I stayed respectful and he didn't. I'm done letting him get away with this! So again, reminder, this went ignored by Dark Viper for almost a week, up until Willie Mac and Nicholas Diorio shared this on Twitter, which Dark Viper probably noticed, which set off this at 3 in the morning. Oh boy, guys, prepare for a long story that I am typing at 3 a.m. Now, I just want to point out, he says that this has been typed at 3 a.m. He posted this, and I'm in the same time zone as Dark Viper. He posted this at 4 a.m. So he spent an hour crafting a Twitter spurg. He really is the Gordon Ramsay of spurgs. He doesn't just throw shit at the wall. He spends time crafting and creating this. Oh boy, guys, prepare for a long story that I am typing at 3 a.m. after throwing all this information in this insanely delusional person's DMs whilst calling him a psycho. I am going to be all over the place due to the lack of sleep. Nothing else, I'm sure. I'm sure it's nothing to do with an undiagnosed mental illness. But I demand a formally written public apology from Dark Stunter. Yeah, he's demanding he's demanding a public apology from a tiny YouTuber that has him who has embarrassed him only because he's brought attention to it. And everyone who spammed his BS in my replies. I don't care how many times I am going to call him a psycho. He deserves it. 2 weeks ago, I received a psychotic Discord DM from someone named Dark J, aka Dark Stunter. I had no idea who this person was, but it was the most passive-aggressive DM I have ever received. They were claiming I removed a credit I gave them for a stunt clip from a short I posted 3 years ago. This, of course, was untrue. I have a custom tool that changes the pinned comments of all my videos at once to advertise things, in this case my merch store. All 2,400 of them. I naturally was not going to remember a pinned comment from 3 years ago on a random short. It is also the only clip on my entire channel that I didn't record myself, and therefore the only one credited to someone else. Thus, even thinking about credits was not something I would do. I have changed all my pinned comments a dozen times over the last few months with the tool made by my mod Kana. This stranger, however, accused me of targetedly removing the credit in some vendetta against them. It was both insane that they think I would go back 3 years to do this, and insane that they noticed and cared enough to DM me. They were further entirely fine with my usage of this clip and were well aware of it for 3 years until they wrongly believed they were snubbed by me. I even have a vague memory that they left a positive comment when I posted it, but it is kinda hazy because it was 3 years ago! Contrary to their claims, I did not use their clip, at least not intentionally. I had no idea they made the clip, so how did I get it, How did I get it, you might ask? 3 years ago on the GTA 5 speedrun Discord, someone, not Dark Stunter, posted a comparison video between the two strategies. This was a timed comparison between bike gliding and not gliding on the Polito score setup. It was in 480p, and I literally involved overlapping rectangular copies of GTA 5 taking up only half the screen, because the person's only goal was to show a comparison for timing purposes. This seemed to be a hastily made 6-minute chunk of footage, and it was unlisted on their channel. I had no association with any Dark Stunter. Why did I make the short? Why did I make the short? Shorts 3 years ago were nothing. They made no money and were fairly new. I was throwing together shorts for shits and giggles. As a lover of all things speedrunning, I thought, that is cool thing I saw today. on Discord that no one will ever see if I don't post it somewhere. And so I took a portion of the footage and spent a few hours making very transformational shortened clip. I didn't know Dark J was. I only learned they and someone else made the clip days after I posted it, so I changed the credit. In brackets he writes, and someone else. It doesn't take long to know that it was Massa. If I know that it's Massa, Dark Viper, everyone should know that it's Massa, because I don't know much. I didn't know Baron used the clip until Dark J mentioned it now, or that they made the clip for Baron. I obviously do not watch Baron's content. Dark J himself, to my knowledge, didn't not post the original 6 minutes of footage anywhere in the last 3 years. They had no goal to profit off this clip, therefore I did not deprive them of attention or revenue. I further had no goal of pretending I made the clip, which was evidenced by the f***ing credit I put to Dark J 3 years ago. Despite Dark J's false claims of my positions, I have quite vocally argued for years that using clips of other people's content in a transformational way is okay, even without credit, in fact, as I believe credit is more of an act of kindness and respect than anything else, which is why I give him credit in this case. Everything Dark J has said publicly about my stances is false. You can tell my usage was transformational because when he sent me the DM, I removed the original short. I then recorded the exact same stunt myself, now in a much higher quality. I then uploaded it with the same subtitles, music, and narration I used 3 years ago. The clip got 6 million views in a week. And he's put a little hyperlink there to the said shorts, which I'm not daring to play on this channel. I don't want him to try and take it down. My channel gets 50 million short views in a month. Uploading stage 90 plus shorts a month. My channel has 2 billion views, and this is the only clip on my entire channel I didn't record myself. I clearly do not care about one short, so why did I post it? Again, because I thought it was a cool and I like speedrunning. It was a 480p windowed clip on a speedrunning Discord I thought no one else would ever see. It was not some fucking mastermind plot for $1,000 like Dark Stunter is claiming. I just did a giveaway where I literally gave away $10,000. I am not exactly starved for cash. Dark Viper, you are repeating yourself way too much in this. Please, for the love of God, if you're spending an hour typing this on what I assume is your computer, because I can't imagine you lie. Please don't tell me you were lying in bed typing this on the phone. I hope you were at a desk typing this out. If you're gonna spend an hour, please go back over and remove parts that you're repeating. Because holy hell, this doesn't need to be this long, my brother. My Australian brother. Within his DM, Dark J not only falsely accuses me of stealing his clip, but he further suggests I snubbed him by 180ing on stunt content. He believes this because I did not remember that he DM'd me 2 years prior to my posting of the clip, which is now 5 years old, by the way. His DM was about stunting, and I replied something to the effect of, I am not interested in stunting, but thanks for reaching out. I obviously still have no interest in stunting. You spent an hour on this and you can't even go back and fix the grammar. You have no interest in stunting, not no interesting in stunt. Jesus Christ. I only posted the clip because it was a speedrun strategy from a speedrunning Discord. Can you imagine how psychotic his claim would sound out of the blue? I receive 100 DMs a day. A random stranger comes out of nowhere and says, why didn't you remember that I DM'd you 2 years prior to uploading that clip 3 years ago? The DM he sent me seemed to flip-flop between loving me and suggesting I was out to murder his family. I didn't know what to make of it, and I'm just tired with arguing with people. I don't know, man. I think you might be getting off on it, especially if you're not at your computer and you're typing this up in bed. I wrote all this information to him, but thought, no, I best not engage. So I deleted it and changed my response to, I have privated the short, never contact me again for any reason. And I blocked this stranger, as I block all the people who send me insane DMs each day. This is just something expected as part of my job. This is not part of your job, Dark Viper, but you are making it part of your job. Please, if you're watching this, please, I beg of you, please go see a therapist if you're not already. And if you are seeing one, you need to fire them and get a new therapist. To quote Dark J from the DM, I really like you and your content. If he was sincere, I didn't want to say to him I didn't know him. I didn't want to tell him that I didn't remember his DM. I didn't want to tell him I didn't even know he made the clip. I didn't want to tell him I don't care about stunting. I thought I was being kind, and by just removing the clip because it was causing him concern. I now have this entire thread of false information from a random stranger that is being spammed at under all my psychos. You got another typo. Again, an hour. You spent an hour on this, and you can't fix this. Like, dude, how mad were you? Seriously. That he's being spammed under all my posts by psychos. All because I wanted to avoid drama and protect the feelings of a stranger. Leave me alone, you absolutely weirdos. I'm going to bed. I expect to see that apology. Hell, an apology from the entire f***ing GTA 5 stunting community when I wake up. And again, started typing at 3 a.m., posted at 4 a.m. Fast forward to when he then goes to sleep. Trust Dark Viper to take a nothing burger and turn it into a 3-course gourmet meal fit for a drama king. He then had a sleep. He posted that at 4 a.m. and then he posts this at 9:30 a.m. So he slept for less than 5 hours, 5.5 if he immediately fell asleep after hitting tweet. So, no more than 5.5 hours of sleep later, he types this. Sorry for my 3 a.m. crash out, guys. For 5 days, I ignored Dark's 16-part thread of entirely... 16-part thread! This is the guy that did 14 pages!
Which is why I spent 14 pages establishing. We were in the 14 pages of writing. In all 14 pages that I wrote, as I again established so heavily in that 14-page document.
Sorry for my 3 a.m. crash out, guys. For 5 days, I ignored Dark 16's part thread of entirely false or misleading information that he posted, even though I gave him exactly what he suggested he wanted. Despite how crazy I considered his grievance, I took down my work and moved on. If you don't think it's psychotic for a guy to publicly post a 16-part thread of false or misleading information because 3 years later he changed his mind about a now deleted 20-second short that he didn't even make, I am sorry, we will never see eye to eye. 3 years of credit is more than enough for a speedrun strategy. Oh, okay. So, if you make something, 3 years is the longest amount that you can go for credit. So, okay guys, you know George Lucas, how he made Star Wars? Yeah, he doesn't get credit for that anymore after 1980. It is wild that in his thread, he objected to anyone making footage of the strategy without credit, presumably for the rest of time. Yes, that's how credit works. That's how credit works. Don't know if you know. It isn't even viable in runs. I have never heard of anyone acting even close to this way in speedrunning in my entire career. His followers spent 5 days spamming his thread under every post I made with the most obscene stuff attached. While I previously believed I could ignore this spam, often from people just trying to rage bait me in my tired state, I couldn't help but respond, and I responded poorly. Even if I am in the right, there was no reason for the theatrics. Trust me, I was even more over the top in the DMs, if you could believe it. I was just tired and angry. I am sorry to those that justifiably feel let down by me getting baited by the insincere looking for drama. Aida called my post unhinged, and she is right. Now, I think Aida is his girlfriend. She called him unhinged. Which is probably where this entire apology is from. She's probably like, listen, you need to apologize because that's crazy, and I'll be damned if I'm gonna date a crazy person. He's like, oh no. I am well aware that given Dark's stated motivation for his DM was my public discussion of my shorts revenue, and that he has brought up revenue half a dozen times. I should have just paid him off, as this was obviously his real interest. This is obvious despite his claims otherwise. He says obvious a lot, like, is there a psychology behind that when someone keeps saying, it's obvious, obviously, when it's just the most normal thing ever? His real interest is most shown by what inspired his DM and his not being appeased by the clip's removal. I simply don't like to be shook down for money. The smart business move is always to just pay people off rather than risk drama, even if the claims are unfounded. It is just an aspect of business I consider gross. No, don't ever. If someone doesn't deserve money from you, you shouldn't pay them just to keep them quiet. Like, When you see people paying off other people, it's usually because they're guilty of something and they're trying to keep it hush. Like, nobody, no normal person just pays somebody off just because they're annoyed by them and want them to be quiet. Like, I don't care how much money you have. All I can recall not showing false or misleading about that thread was the clip still being on TikTok, as I don't post clips to TikTok myself, and I am unable to make money from TikTok due to being in Australia. It didn't even enter my mind. I am a busy guy, and I get strange DMs every day. Yeah, Dark Viper, you don't have to reply to those. In fact, you don't have to read them. If you don't know the person sending you a DM, you're not inclined to read them. Like, are you bored? Why you are inviting this into your life? You need to invent a filter system to filter out all these kind of DMs. He knew this because it was explained in the very video that inspired his DM. He, of course, didn't mention this information, as it made it easier to mislead people, as was the goal of every part of the thread. Hell, the clip may be on Instagram too. Same story. I don't make money from the platform, and someone else handles the reposting of my shorts there. I will have someone in my team find my work there and replace them with the new improved clip. I am doing this as a formality, as this was my work, not his, and removing this content obviously will not appease Dark, as the clip has nothing to do with what he actually wanted. If he sincerely cared, he'd have complained 3 years ago rather than the nanosecond he thought there was going to be money to be had. I will speak no more on this matter. I am frankly embarrassed by this whole affair. I expect this fiasco is just going to inspire more attempted shakedowns. I really need to just close my DMs. Yeah, thank you. That's what I was just saying earlier. I hadn't read this part yet. But definitely close your DMs. The best way to inspire more attempted shakedowns is to pay off people that you don't need to pay off. Never give money to people that don't deserve it. That, in your opinion, he didn't deserve it. So why would you give him money if he didn't... He doesn't make it. Obviously, Dark Viper doesn't make any sense. Alright, that's it for the news. My throat hurts, and if you made it this far, make sure to click that subscribe button and like button to help me out in the algorithm, and until next time, have a good one.